Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be talking about Godmersham Park by Gill Hornby. This book is set in 1804 and it is based on a true story. We follow Anne Sharp, who gets appointed as a governess at Godmersham Park. There she meets the Austen family and she also befriends Henry Austen and Jane Austen. So what can you expect from this book? 1. You follow the life of a governess set in 1804. 2. We follow the life of Anne Sharp, which is historically accurate. 3. We get to know the life of the Austen family at Godmersham Park. And 4. We get to see the friendship forming between Anne and Jane Austen. I just moved the camera a little bit because of course my cat deserves to be on the camera. Let's talk about the writing style. So the writing is very dry, not flowery. I didn't mark a lot of beautiful sentences or quotes, and the style really matches the time period of the 1800s. It kind of gives you this Jane Austen vibe, which is really nice. It's just a little bit more modern. The author also uses quite a lot of references to books from that time period, or authors from the time period, or musicians from the time period, and that is something that I always appreciate and really like. For example, we have Aeschylus. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Aeschylus. We have Othello, Hamlet, Botticelli, Mary Wollstonecraft, William Cowper, Richmal Mangles, Shakespeare, Hamlet, Homer. One thing that I really didn't like about the writing style is the over excessive use of cursive words. I didn't know what the author was trying to do, but there are so many cursive words, and after a while it starts to get annoying. So I don't know what the point of all the cursive words were, but it really annoyed me. I will show you an example, and as you can see, there are so many cursive words on the page, and it doesn't really stop. It's just the whole entire book, and I have no idea why. Now, about the synopsis, I didn't really feel like it matched with the book. It kind of makes you expect more of a love story between Anne and Henry, but actually it's not at all a love story. So if you're looking for a love story in this book, then it's not really for you, because you're going to be disappointed. There is tension between Anne and Henry, but it doesn't really turn into a love story. Now let's talk about the characters. This is a very character-driven book, so there isn't much happening, and the story is truly about Anne Sharp. Anne is our main character, and of course she is going to be the most developed character, but I did feel like the other characters deserved a bit more fleshing out and a bit more attention. I did think that Henry was written down very well, and I loved his character. He was really nice to read and original to read. But anyway, do not expect a lot of plot twists and a lot of events going on. It's just about Anne and her position as a governess. There's also a lot of detail about Anne's headaches that she was suffering from, so there's kind of this medical thing that is going on too. Now, what is really typical about Anne is that she is very against marriage and against men. It was actually so bad that I started tabbing with my stickers every time that Anne said something negative about marriage and about men. Now, you can say, of course, that it is a feminist book and there is nothing wrong with it, but what I do find a bit disappointing when we are talking about feminist books is that they often just are very negative towards men, and I don't really like that. Maybe Anne Sharp was just thinking this way. Maybe it's historically accurate. I don't really know. So in that case, I don't have any problems with it whatsoever. But in any case, it was really harsh on the men-hating and marriage-hating theme. I have marked the passages with a pink tab, and I will read a few of these to give you an example. They were at last arriving at the age at which Aunt Mercer had promised them lectures and meetings, a place at the feet of those whose ideas they loved to discuss. And now Hetty's head was to be turned in the direction of dances and gentlemen. What could she possibly want with mere gentlemen? They had never before talked of the species. They loved each other. Second quote, I do not know why, but I have never seen myself as part of some irregular family. Wife, mother, those roles simply do not appeal. 3. Can you read anything at all on the subject of money? Money was what mattered. Love, after all, she could manage without. 4. I live under my own control, am not the prisoner of some man to use as he pleases, and that last was, once upon a time in easier days, my greatest fear. 5. Unthinkable cruelty, Anne gasped. How I detest these acts of violence against us. Will we ever be free from the tyranny of the caprice of men? I am not the bland heroine of romantic fiction. I have no interest in men, spare or otherwise. After a while I was really thinking, okay, Anne Sharp, it's okay. We know that you hate men, it's okay. At the beginning of the book, I actually thought that Anne was going to go through some kind of transformation, like in the beginning of the novel, she hates men, and then at the end of the novel, she maybe has fallen in love. But I don't know, I kind of missed a little bit developments. To wrap up this video, I want to say that I really enjoyed this book. The pacing is very slow. It is not a love story. So if you're looking for a lot of... So if you're looking for a fast-paced story with a lot of events going on, and if you're looking for a love story, then this book is not for you. I usually enjoy fast-paced stories most, but it didn't really bother me. If you're interested in how I annotated the book and used my tabs, I used pink for negativity about men and love. I used light bluish green for YouTube references, yellow for quotes, darker blue for references to artists and musicians and so on. And I used a light pastel green for interesting facts. So let me finish up the video by reading a part of the first chapter so you can get familiar with the writing style. At 6:30 in the bleak icy evening of 21st January at the year 1804, Anne Sharp arrived on the threshold of Godmersham Park. She was not afraid. Though an urban creature suddenly transplanted in Kent, an indulged only child forced to earn her own living, she felt almost nothing. It is not that she was fearless by nature, nor, it must be said, a stranger to that evil, self-pity. But by then, so much had occurred, so altered were her circumstances and sudden her decline, that there was naught left to fear. The footman admitted her, and then vanished. A maid appeared, muttered that she would find Madame, but did not take Anne's cloak. She was neither a guest deserving of special courtesy, nor a servant to be treated as a friend. Left alone in that impressive square hall, bathed in that hour of extravagant candlelight, she considered drawing nearer to the excellent fire, but resisted. About the edition that I'm holding in my hands now, this is a signed edition by the author. It's a hardcover and it comes from Waterstones. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week.